All right. I wanted to talk about the positive grid really quickly. It's going to be a short video because I just got one. Why? Because I saw so many YouTube videos, and all of these cats are demoing on these sparks, these positive sparks, and so many things, about the way I like gear, like struck me that this, if you were a recording artist and you were not a guitarist and you wanted one guitar for your studio, you're a producer, and you don't play guitar, but you think, hey, if I could get one piece of equipment that a guitarist would use in my studio, which kind of amp would you get? And I think if you're only going to get one amp for your studio, and you're not a guitarist, so you don't have tons of guitar gear, but you just get in one amp to kind of cover as much ground as you can, I think this positive grid is a no-brainer. And I'm going to tell you why it's a no-brainer if you're a studio head and you're trying to use guitars. Number one, it's small. The form factor of this thing is tiny, right? So it can go anywhere. Okay, and then number two, the functionality of this is incredible because you got two speakers, okay, two little 6 or 5 inch speakers, I'm not sure, but they're two right there. So your stereo pairing when you're doing recording sounds amazing. The tones in this positive grid sound incredible. Now, I'm not even going to play because there's so many people online. I would prefer you to watch their videos. Really, I'm not, it doesn't matter to me. You can click off my video now, go see the Dow Braun video. Like, I think Guitar Max does one. So many people have been, like pretty much all 60 Cycle Hum, they've all been doing this positive grid. And then the sounds in their demo, I'm like, well, if it sounds that good on YouTube, with all the compression that YouTube does, it's going to sound good on a record, right? And then the tones they're dialing in, you could dial in any tone. You want to sound like Metallica, you sound like Metallica. You want to sound like some dream pop, shoegaze, heavy metal, classic rock. You want nice clean tones. It gives you all of that. It's super loud. So, you don't really need a super loud amp in the studio. You just need an amp that has really nice dynamic range and sweet tones, and that's what this gives you. For the 40 watts of power they're giving you, it's way more than you would need. Okay, so as a studio piece of equipment, it's incredible. Also, it's an interface, so you can line in. You want to record tracks quiet at night, late at night. You don't want to bother people. You're a home recorder. Again, this is your tool right here, and it's actually fun to play with the headphones on it. So it kind of can be addictive when you're playing it with the headphones. So that's another thing. And then again, going back to the studio as a piece of a studio equipment, like you have guitarists, you record guitarists, right? So the beauty of this piece of equipment is that it's small. It has headphones. You can load the backing track of the song they're about to record into the positive grid and say, hey, you want to write a solo, you want to write some guitar parts on top of that, go take this. The other people are going to be recording doing their tracks, maybe the bass player is getting their takes, the drummer's getting to whatever that time. You can tell them, go off, put your headphones on, boost, start jamming on that off the song. They can get that song right then and there. Listening through the headphones, they can jam along. Then once it's time to record, you basically just, take the tones that they like, teach them how to dial in tones and go tone hounding. And then once they like the tones, you just set up the mics, boom, 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 and you're good to go. So I would honestly say that this could cover so much ground, especially for $299. So really, if you're only going to ever get one amp and you're not a guitar player and you don't do guitars, but you record other guitarists, I'll really check out the positive grid amp. And again, there's so many videos that have so many beautiful tones. You can download tones from the internet once you connect it to your app and stuff. And so one goofy thing, if you're old schooler and you don't like messing with apps, then you might not really like it. But I've been messing with apps ever since Tone Prints of TC Electronics, where you could download tone prints onto the pedals. And I thought that was incredible technology. And I think this kind of takes that, to the next level. So it's kind of in my mind, I'm like, wow, the future of like studio equipment for guitars is really like, pieces of equipment like this positive grid, and then some of these amp modelers where you're able to get all of these cabinets and all of these different sounds off one modeler. You know what I mean? And once you're trying to record guitars in a mix, it doesn't need to be exactly the same sound as the exact piece of equipment, but as long as it's close to it, then you're going to give the listener, the person who's enjoying your music, they won't know. You can give them that feel. You can still create that feel. So I'd say kind of instruments like this positive grid, I'm going to look into modelers more. If people know about Amperos, the Plethora 5X I've been looking at. Please get in the comment section and just tell me what you think is a good piece of equipment to get, because I'm looking at the Ampero stomp boxes and the Ampero MP100. You know, or if you think, I mean, I'm zeroing in on Ampero, but if you think other ones are nice too, you should just go ahead and let me know. And then I want to go and look into those and just start researching on those. But again, if you're a producer and you only get one piece of guitar equipment, get the Positive Grid. I mean, I don't, you know, obviously I'm just some nobody YouTuber. Nobody knows who I am. I'm just making this because I love gear and I love creating the dialogue, and I'm just a nerd like that. So if you're a producer and you only get one amp for a guitarist, you know, like they say the bass, they mess around with bass on this. I didn't like the bass tones. I'm just being honest. I would not record bass on this. Maybe I have to tweak it more, but I felt like the modelers for the bass, they all kind of sounded the same to me. So I really wasn't messing with the bass. And again, I'm just trying to be honest. But for electric guitars, this thing's incredible. Now, I haven't tried acoustic guitar, and now someone get in the comment section if you played acoustic guitar on it and you think it sounds nice, let me know. But again, for electric guitars, I'm super happy with the sounds I'm getting out of this. And I don't like multi-effects, because I was using multi-effects in the 90s and a lot of them were not good. I mean, I'm sure there were some good ones, but some of the ones I got, I was just never pleased with. So I was very skeptical about the kind of sounds that I could get out of this. But between the sounds I've been able to jam out at home and the stuff I've seen on YouTube, I'm like, this is it. This is the jam. As far as bass goes, just low key, this isn't a bass video, but for the bass, I really got this rumble right here, this rumble, I think it's a Rumble 25. It's a really amazing piece of equipment, the Rumble bass, in terms of recording bass, because I can line straight out. I can line straight out to the DAW. There's an XLR out the back of it, which makes it incredible for recording basses. So between these two pieces of equipment, the Rumble and the Positive Grid, you really are recording in the studio. Sounds good. Hey, thank you for watching. Please get in the comment section and let me know which kind of gear you think is pretty nice for the studio. All right, peace out.